here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight. Cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine. In a world so full of pain, can you make it go away? It used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now. Everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong, baby. Now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. You and me
Hey,
must be
everybody.
right.
Hey,
Something's in the
hey,
air, I can
hey.
feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of
Hey,
us. You
hey,
and me
hey.
every night, aiming for the
Today's
stars
episode's
with
gonna
the
be
love
great,
so
guys.
bright. You and me must do something right. Baby,
It's
I
Friday,
believe
guys.
in us.
Ah.
I believe
Mm.
in you and me, you and me, you and me,
Welcome
you and
in,
me,
everybody.
I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me,
Hey, hey, hey. Oh, hey. Da, da, da. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danae Show. I am Danielle Danea, aka Danny Danea, and you already know I have a lot to say. So let's get into it. Adam Housley says what we all know to be true. What's the freaking problem? Let's talk about it. So before I get into the story I'm talking about, I want to give you guys a little insight on who Adam Housley is. Adam Housley is a journalist and winemaker. He's also known for being the husband of Tamara Mowry. You guys know Tia Tamara. They were the twins that were made big off Sister Sister. They've been in a bunch of other movies since then. Big time actresses. So this man, Adam Housley, is Tamara Housley's husband. Now, I can always tell them apart, the twins, because Tamara has a little beauty mark, the mole or whatever you want to call it on the side of her face, and Tia doesn't. So if you're struggling to know the difference between the two, you know which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one with the beauty mark, not Tia. So, anyways, that was a little backstory on Adam. Uh, but Adam decided to go on Twitter and, pardon me, now X, to respond to a breaking news post about Trump. And it was saying that Trump may ban people from purchasing junk food with food stamps. Now, people were outraged with his response, and I read the whole thing. I initially reading it, I was like, I don't see anything, even after, wrong with what he said. But it's interesting going through the comments. Again, this post was on Shade Room. I get a lot of my content on Shade Room. It's just been really good lately. Again, I don't like being on Shade Room because of the commentary and how they word their posts. They're shady, hence the name, the Shade Room. But again, really good information, really good for me speaking up here for topics. I use speaking up here. Yeah, I'm gonna read to you the post, and the post, it was an at called unusual_whales that posted this breaking news, and the post he responded to says, Trump administration may ban the use of food stamps for purchasing junk food per NYP. And then Adam Housley's response is, as a kid who grew up in neighborhood grocery stores since I was 5, I can't tell you how many times I saw people come in and buy crap food for their kids with food stamps, then open the wallet and use cash for liquor, beer, wine, and cigarettes. Then there were those who would repeatedly buy a lemon or lime, get the change, walk out the door, throw them away, and do it again until they had enough change to buy cigarettes or alcohol. As a kid, it pissed me off because there are some people who could really use the help, and then there are these others, work in the system. So just reading that, it's fine. I don't see a problem with that. We all know this happens. We all know this happens, especially if you live by a bunch of drugstores. You see this happen all the time. People go in there, buy crap. Those Little Debbie, my boyfriend loves those Little Debbie snacks. The I don't even know what they're called. The little cakes, the little stuff that kids really like that are really, really bad for you. And yeah, you'll see parents all the time buying them for kids. And it's like, dang, there's not really healthy food in these little grocery stores or corner stores to begin with. But it's like the worst things they get. And it's annoying, absolutely. But, I I'm just like, I have a boyfriend who's a grown man who buys these things, and we are not buying them with food stamps. We are using our money to buy this. And it's just like, but I see his point. I took myself out of the situation. I know my situation isn't everybody else's. I know this happens. Because again, grown adults are buying it, so I know kids are buying it. I've seen it happen. So I wasn't outraged. I think the reason why people were so mad and why I call this episode Selective Outrage, I titled it in my thumbnail, is because people were really mad just because this man is white. Adam Housley is a white man. If a man, a black man, a guy they could relate to, a hood guy on the street, a hood guy you could see on the street said the same thing Adam Housley said, nobody would be outraged. Because again, it's okay for a black guy to say this because black people equate degenerate actions to the black community, and it's a degenerate action, whether you believe it or not. Buying your kid hot Cheetos, powdered donuts, all those things that are super, super bad for you. It's bad. It's bad. Why are you mad that someone is commenting on something that's not good for kids? Wants to, ban this because they want better food, for their kids. Again, it's simply because he's white. You use your hard-earned money to buy stuff that's not good for you. Cigarettes and, like he said, a wine and what else he said? Yeah, liquor, beer. They do all the time because you can't get that type of stuff with food stamps. But it's like, you're trying to buy stuff that's going to kill you rather than stuff that's going to make your kids live longer lives. The hypocrisy is crazy. It's like you can't afford to feed your family, allegedly, because people that apply for food stamps, and I'm very new to this concept. I didn't know what food stamps were until I moved to Los Angeles. And my sister said she applied to get them for welfare. To get them, I was just like, what is this? That's all I knew. I grew up somewhat privileged because I didn't have any idea what these were. But now that I know what they are, I'm just like, okay, I get it. And understandably so, people that don't make a certain amount of income apply for these food stamps so they're able to pay for groceries, right? So yeah, and it just takes away, and he was absolutely right in lastly saying that it takes away from people that actually need it, and if you're able to buy wine, if you're able to buy cigarettes, I don't know if you need the money so much, with your own money versus buying groceries for your kids. It's like, wine is not cheap. There's cheap wine out there, but I mean, you could get groceries with the money you buy wine with and cigarettes. You very well could. You can make it work. Don't sit here and lie, talking about, oh, grocery prices are so expensive. Wine is expensive. Cigarettes have been raised. The prices have been raised so much. I hear people complain about it all the time. So stop the cap. People pay for what they want to pay for. People complain about the iPhone being so expensive, but somehow everybody has one. Isn't that crazy? Bethany says Housley grew up in a white area. He saw white folks doing that. LOL. Yeah, he saw white people doing it, and the fact that again, we equate all degeneracy type behavior to black people. Like, he couldn't experience this because he's white. He couldn't see somebody, a fellow white person buying junk food for his kids because that's specifically what black people do. It's like we play our own selves every time. We play in our own faces. And I don't know if people see that. Like, we're belittling us every time we make these statements. It's not a flex to, want to buy your kid Little Debbie's and all that, go to the store and buy sugar powdered donuts. Obviously, from time to time, yes, you want to give your kids a little bit of sugar. It makes them happy. Makes them jittery. Trust me, I know. But yeah, of course, as a little kid, I wanted, sweets and stuff. But we're talking about that's something you do from time to time, special occasions, as a reward, whatever. We're talking about buying groceries for the everyday, for meals. Like, that's what they eat for dinner. That's their dessert for after dinner, whatever it is. And their actual dinner is like McDonald's or something. That's what he's talking about. And that's what happens more often than not. And we know this to be true. Again, the outrage is not what he said. It's who said it. It's not the message. It's the messenger. And I hate that. That's so hypocritical for the black community. We should appreciate truth no matter who says it. It doesn't matter who says it. Okay? And when he mentions throwing away items, I thought that was crazy. I've never seen this happen, that people would buy a lemon or lime, get the change, walk out the door, and then do it again just to get enough change to buy what they really want. I like I said, I haven't seen that in my personal life, but I don't doubt that happens. If you want something desperately, you will find a way. And if you can only get change from buying limes from food stamps, I guess, getting change from food stamps. I'm not 100% sure how this process works because I didn't grow up on food stamps. It's, again, a very new concept to me. But it makes sense. I mean, again, if that's what you need and you're not making the income to get it on your own, you're going to find someone else who can do it for you. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's a reason why that's a statement. It's because they find a way, even if it seems impossible or seems, difficult, make it happen. Again, so... yeah, again, degenerate behavior glorified in black community. We got to stop glorifying this. This is stupid behavior. This stupid and ugly one, doing this, being on food stamps and not really needing them. And two, being mad at this this white man for saying things we know to be true in our community, and clearly it's true in the white community, maybe not as much. I'm sure it's not as much. But just because it doesn't happen as much as you think it does, don't discredit his information. Because again, we know what happens in the black community. We know what happens in the black community, but the fact that a white man said it, it's like, oh, how dare you talk about our community? You're not black, da 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 da. What? You don't have to be black to speak about what is going again. And this is a thing that Trump is doing. Trump is white. Trump is our president. He has every right to speak about something that's about our country, that's about to likely to happen for our whole country, which is full of blacks, whites, Hispanics, everybody. So again, this is too freaking stupid. And we know this happens more often than it should. And that's why Trump is, talking about this ban. Like, do you guys sit back and think, oh, maybe this is happening more than you maybe think it is, and it's not just your community. Again, it's other communities. So that's why Trump wants to ban people from buying junk food with food stamps, because way more people are doing it. Way more races than we think are doing it. It's not just the black race. Like, people think everything evolves around black people. Everything does not revolve around us, guys. I know Black Lives Matter made y'all think that way, but newsflash, not everything is about us. And the moment somebody, gives this perspective and, makes it a little bit about them, we attack them. But we're so quick to rah about our struggles and our community and what we deem to be right, what we deem to be wrong. Why can't a white guy say what he's experienced, what he thinks is wrong, and what he thinks should happen? This is a free country, guys. Oh my gosh. Do you not realize there are so many people that get paid under the table that apply to get food stamps because they don't track their income through their taxes, again, because they get paid in cash directly. So they don't have to report their W-9s or anything like I have to do, like probably you have to do. And they use that to make it seem like them getting paid under the table, to make it seem like they're making no money when they're making a lot of money, but they're scamming the system, right? And that's what he said, working the system. That's a type of work in the system. When you're making more money than you're leading on and just getting free groceries because you don't want to pay for groceries, but can't afford them, you're just being cheap and selfish. There's people that are actually out there in the world that need food stamps because they work all day, slave at their jobs all day, every day, and just can't make ends meet. There's people in college, like my little sister in college, that, is studying classes all the time and can't work a great job yet because she hasn't graduated or whatever. And she needs the money for groceries because, again, she is in school, which isn't paying her right now. College students need it. Not the people working the system. That's absolutely true. Where's the backlash in that? Reacher says, hi, how are you? Good, how are you doing, Reacher? I'm glad to see you're here. Reacher also says, the thing is that I'm white and I have a girlfriend that isn't white and we absolutely love each other and I respect her more than anything else in the world. Kudos to you, man. I really love that. And I bet your conversations aren't white-based, aren't black-based. Y'all just have general conversation. And if they are about race, y'all have the emotional intelligence to, talk about both without being offended. So kudos to you. Bethany says, the problem is buying junk food makes the already food stamper unhealthy, which you can assume they are on Medicaid as well. Exactly. That's another thing, at the health factor. It's like you can't afford groceries. It's like, but you're feeding your kid things that could and make them end up in the hospital, which is a way bigger bill than a grocery bill. That's a great point, Bethany. It's so backwards, And I hate that we even have to have this conversation because it's like it's common sense. But again, we all know common sense isn't as common anymore. Reacher, I want to call you preacher so bad. I don't know why. But Reacher says we are all human at the end of the day. Exactly. There's a quote out there that says there's only one race and it's the human race. And I wholeheartedly agree. We're not fully there yet. I'm a realist also, though. We're not at that point where we don't see race or color yet. But I hope one day, maybe, I think it's going to be when I'm super old or long gone, maybe we can go through life seeing it the way that person, whoever said that quote, did. But we have a long way to go. Just from this post and the outrage that I saw in this post, I can tell we have a long way to go. So, yeah. So we know there's people that get paid on the table. We know also another one of his points is, this happened with us growing up. I don't know how old Adam Housley is, but I'm sure he's around I think maybe 50 years old. He's around my boyfriend's age. So, and it's crazy. My boyfriend and I have similar experiences, even though I'm way younger than him. So we know this to be true. We grew up with the same experience. Don't discredit him because he's white. Again, don't try to act like you didn't grow up with this experience because he's white. Yeah, we saw people use food stamps to buy little Debbie's, little Debbie cupcakes and donuts and stuff. So stop the cap. And you saw parents buy wine, alcohol, period, cigarettes and stuff with cash. Because again, you can't get those things with food stamps. Again, something that's true. What's the problem? And yeah. He said, as a kid, it pissed me off. I bet it did. As a kid, I wish I paid a little more attention to it. As a kid, I wanted the sugar so bad. But my mom did not let us have sugar. I mean, I didn't even get to taste ramen noodles until I went to a new hairstylist we had, and she introduced me. I thought it was the best thing ever. My parents were so strict about everything. The only candy I could really have was like Reese's, because that was my dad's favorite candy. Reese's, Jolly Ranchers and stuff. But those little cakes and stuff, they're so bad for you. They got this food coloring that's bad for you. It's different than, chocolate and caramel and peanut butter. We know what's in that, but these little Debbies have other stuff in it that's way times worse for you. So, yeah. Yep. These people that get paid under the table and apply for welfare and then get food stamps, they're scammers. We all know there's scammers out there. Especially, we live in Los Angeles, I see it all the time. And especially in downtown. So many scammers who do this. And again, it's like, we're mad at him calling out criminals for doing criminal activity or something that should be a criminal. It's just dishonest. It's morally dishonest. And it's just like, it's the same. It's stupid. It's the same thing can go for people rooting for illegal immigrants to be here illegally. It's like they're committing a crime and you think it's okay just because they tell you a sob story and they have kids to feed. It's just like, what? No, you broke the law. Go back to your country. Go back to the country you came from. Same with this. You make enough money, you pay for groceries. You make enough money, you pay your taxes. You like living where you are, I'm pretty sure. Those taxes go to your city. Don't scam the system. Don't do that. I get it. Times are tough, man. Prices are high. It's pricey out here. But again, you got enough money to pay for wine. Pay to get your kids some chicken with some broccoli on the side. That's the least you could do. The least you could do. Then Adam goes on to say he's responding to a commenter on Twitter. X, pardon me, I always call it Twitter. I'm sorry. XXX. A woman named, her ad is Black Therapist and Coach. Well, that's the title of her name, but her real name's Nicole something. But she says, what exactly do you mean by grew up in a neighborhood grocery store? It's since you were 5. She didn't even type this right. Since you were 5. I don't know why she put it's in there. But then Adam goes into to explain, my parents used every dime they had to open a small neighborhood grocery store. My brother and I basically lived in the back room, and as a family, we worked our butts off. I got baseball cards as pay for picking up cigarette butts in the planters. LOL. Worked these stores until I left for TV. Brother still runs both of them. So this guy Adam is way more qualified to speak on this than a lot of other people are, even in the black community, because his parents own one of these grocery stores, these corner stores. So he saw it 10 times more. He saw it when he woke up for school. He saw it coming home from school. You know, he said he worked there. So shout out to him. And I love that his brother still owns them and still running them. That's amazing, you know? And yeah, again, people were trying to discredit his experience because he's white. He literally grew up in it. He didn't hear about it from one of his homeboys, and even if he did, it's okay because it's factual. I can say it's factual, what he said. But that wasn't even the case. He grew up in it since he was 5, he said in the initial post. So again, I love that the parents put him hard to work, and you know, I love that they rewarded him with baseball cards. I guess that's the thing he loves. And yeah, shout out to his parents, man. But yeah, this is admirable, guys. Calling these types of things out and being like, this is not okay. I want better for everybody. He didn't say he wanted this to be banned for the white community. Like, he's just saying his experience and he wants them to be banned, period. And this is for everybody, guys. And it's like, no, we don't make enough money. We should be able to buy whatever we want to buy. Healthy food is more expensive than junk food. I'm going to read some of the comments from this post and get into dissect each and every one of them, like 4 or 5 of them, because the hypocrisy, the degeneracy, the thinking in these posts is just insane. So I'm going to break it down to you. But yeah, so So again, like I said, he saw this more often than most people. People trying to invalidate him when his initial post. The fact that he even had to explain this because someone was like, "What do you mean?" If someone black said straight up that, you know, they grew up in a neighborhood grocery store or on a corner store, no one would be like, "What do you mean you grew up?" It's just because he's white. She asked this dumb question, and I just hate, like, all white people are equated to white privilege and, you know, living in mansions and having all this money. Not every white person is a millionaire, guys. I hate to break it to you. Some grow up on corner stores. Some grow up in the ghetto. Some grow up in trailers. Some live way worse lives. If you look on the outside of it, way worse lives than you do. So again, it's like, we yell about racism, we yell about how white people are doing better than us, but we like feed into that narrative with this type of mindset, with this type of rhetoric. It's like, but you're equating white privilege to not knowing about, you know, living on a corner store and knowing about food stamps and all these other things. It's like, only black broke people can relate? Only people that are in that realm are black people? It's insane to me. It's insane. Shannon says she knew exactly what he meant. Miserable people just want to be controversial. Absolutely. They just want to be controversial. She just wanted to stir the pot. She was hoping his reaction was, he was hoping he was going to say something that was like, now how dare you? And it didn't work out that way. So she looked stupid. She looked stupid even typing this regardless. But anyway, I just can't. Again, it's selective outrage. You want to be mad that a white person says that, but if a black person said that, you'd be like, yeah, he wants better for the black community. Shout out to black people. Black power, man. Black lives matter. Leave this white man alone. He said nothing wrong, guys. He said absolutely nothing wrong. So quit the cap. Quit the selective outrage. You look like a hypocrite. You look stupid. All right, guys. All right. Well, I'm going to bring up Safari. The post is here, guys. And here is the first comment. Yeah. This woman says, how about ban the food with the harmful ingredients and stop charging so much for organic and clean food? Okay, sis. First of all, this is not the issue. You're moving the goalposts. Guys, that's a whole other topic. Banning food with harmful ingredients. I agree. It shouldn't be in the stores to begin with. But since it's there, we can talk about shoulda, coulda, wouldas all day long. But since they are in stores right now, this is a valid perspective to give. Okay? And charging so much for again, if you if you really wanted to buy organic and clean food, you would do it no matter what the cost. If you really cared about your kids' health, you would do it. It's not that expensive that you can't afford it. You just rather buy wine and cigarettes, like Housley said. Pardon me. Stop the cap. Stop moving the goalpost. This woman says, this statement is so harmful. Not only is it rooted in bigotry, oh my gosh, it's an unfair projection that children born in lower income and poverty-stricken environments don't deserve what I'm sure his kids often enjoy, i.e. a cake, a popsicle, piece of candy. Well, let me stop right there. Again, I said this earlier. Yes, his kids enjoy probably cake, ice cream, all that stuff, but that's not the type of food we're talking about that is in corner. Well, no, it is in corner stores, but again, this doesn't happen often. Like, they're not having this for dessert every meal. It's something that they go out and get, like I said, for a celebration after, they competed in a swim team and won or something like that. Like, they're not feeding the stuff to their kids consistently on a day-to-day basis. So stop the cap. They give cake for the kids' birthdays. They don't eat it every day like a lot of people in the Black communities do, or people are in lower paying, community who have low paying jobs do. A cake, a popsicle, etc. The fact that no one is saying Little Debbie, Coke products, and all candy distributors need to be out of business shows that this is only an attempt to control a group you identify as less than. When Michelle Obama had the initiative, wait, before I get into this next part, oh my gosh, you talk about putting words in someone's mouth. Oh my gosh, putting words in someone's mouth. This is insane. I mean, what? Trying to get rid of somebody who, wait, let me see if I read this properly. She said, control a group you identify as less than. How is that control? Wanting people of lower incomes to not pay for trash, not having their kids eat a whole bunch of garbage. How is that a level of control? It's so funny how Black people want to call this type of stuff controlling, but don't want to see the control that's in, like, let's say, a presidential campaign. Kamala is telling Black people to vote when Joe Biden is saying, oh, you're not Black if you don't vote. That's the type of control. They want to control your mind to believe that you're truly not Black if you don't vote. This is not control, guys. This is wanting better for your kids' health. That's what this is. Kids' health and your health. Wanting to buy better products for kids and stop buying wine, cigarettes for the adults. How is that a problem? How does anybody see that as a problem? I really can't understand it. And the reach in this statement, again, like, some of it could be dissected, some of it could be debated, but it's like you don't know any of this without knowing this person, right? A lot of the stuff she said, if she doesn't know this guy directly, because I didn't get any of what she said in this post. I mean, It's all speculation. It's all speculation, and we can't have a real conversation based off what ifs. And we can't state what ifs as if they're facts. Anyway, let's go back to her comment. She says, when Michelle Obama has the initiative to make school lunches healthier for all, not just children you deem as unfortunate, no one was in support of it. Why? Kiss my A and check your bias at the door. Check your freaking bias, sis. Again, if Michelle Obama made the same statement and said that, you know, I was tired of seeing kids in my neighborhood go to the corner store and come back with all this junk food, and you know my parents worked there, you would have nothing to say. You'd be like, shout out to Miss my forever first lady Michelle Obama for saying this. This is so true. Yes, we need to feed our black kids great food and make them thrive, and we shouldn't be buying cigarettes. Woo! There's no bias here. This is what I believe. This is what a lot of people believe. This is what Trump believes. So stop making this a problem and saying, like, I already knew this was going to be extra because she capitalized kiss my A. It's like that. All that is unnecessary. When you're super disrespectful for no reason, he was not disrespectful at all in this post. It's just a need for attention. I feel like again, to be controversial, like Shannon said, it's just a need to feel like a victim. And I'm super, super tired of it, guys. I'm super, super tired of it. Do not invalidate anybody that has a strong point simply because they're white or a different race than you or somebody you just don't like. That's immature. That's high school behavior. Grow the fuck up. Excuse my French, but it's really time. Grow up. You got to remove yourself out of every situation and be like, let me sit back and think about what I'm actually saying. And do some research maybe. If you don't really know full-heartedly for yourself, do some research. Google is free. It's not that hard. And stop coming for people just because, again, they have a different opinion of you and a different race than you. Bethany says, it's actually saying us taxpayer money because now we don't have to pay the higher medical bills that Medicaid is saving. Bethany, I'm going to type a little bit better because I'm just like, what do you mean? Saving us taxpayer money because now we don't have to pay. I guess I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but I just don't. I'm not with this attack. This person just because he's white and, you know, he's married to a black woman, even though Tamara and Tia are half white and half black. It's just like, people, even I keep up a little bit with how people respond to both the twins now. And since Tia was married to a black man, people gravitate more toward her. Well, in the black community, people gravitate more toward her than they do Tamara because she's married to a white woman and condemn everything she does and say stuff about her. I saw they posted a picture, again, Sharon being shady. They posted a picture of Adam Housley and Tamara and their 2 kids, and everybody's in the comments like, nah, this is a Trump supporter. What are you doing? Tamara, what are you doing? This is ugly. Go be with someone or anybody else. Just like, the ugliness, the hate, but you want us to be loved by other races, but we hate ourselves. We hate on so many other people. It's like, that's not how that works. You don't get loved by hating on people. You're mad because Tamara has a husband that speaks common sense, is still with her husband. Tia over here divorced her husband. I don't know the ins and outs of the relationship, but I don't know. I believe, because Tia's been doing a lot of press since, in interviews since her divorce, I believe it wasn't as bad as she made it seem. They could have worked it out. She said it was at first and that he misses him, that she's lonely, and that she... Anyway, back to the point. Adam Housley said nothing freaking wrong. And I think I want to read this one last comment, guys. Just one more. Maybe two, because this one's really short. It says, I couldn't imagine being 5 years old and pocket watching. Talking about it pissed me off. Oh my gosh. He said since he was 5 years old. You know you're a child until you're 18 years old, right? You know he's probably working there until he was 18 years old and saw this until he was 18 years old. He's not saying he specifically saw it at 5 years old. He said that's why reading is so important. Reading to comprehend is so important because... He said, as a kid who grew up in the neighborhood grocery store since I was 5, and then goes to say later that as a kid it pissed me off. He didn't say at 5 years old it pissed me off. You just made an assumption, sis. And what if he was pissed off at 5? He could be very well pissed off at 5. Talking about you can't imagine it. Oh, well, just because you can't relate doesn't dismiss the point, babe. I know at 5, I can't remember a single thing I did when I was 5. Well, I do remember one thing. I kissed a boy. But anyway, other than that, I have a vague memory of what I was doing at 5. Or pissed at 5, let alone doing at 5. So that's me, though. But then there's my sister. She has this crazy memory. Like, she remembers everything. She'll bring up something, and I'll be like, how do you know that? Something I did when I was 2, and she was 6, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. So to be smart, you know that happens. It's just like to have an actually working mind. You know you're not the only type of person in the world. There's different type of people out there that have different abilities that do, remember things more than other people, that are more skilled at things that other people aren't. So again, uneducated, just stupid statement to make. It was just like, why? Again, I really hope that they're doing this just for attention, that they're really not that daft up here, because if they are, oh my gosh, are you going to struggle in life? Probably already struggling in life. Probably can relate to this post. Probably is on food stamps, not making any money. So that's why they're in these comment sections so heavily, and feel some type of way because Adam was talking about them and they didn't like what he said because he was white. And like, oh, let me just come for him and say this because I feel like he's personally attacking me. All right, this last quote I want to talk about. It says, your parents had enough money to open a grocery store. Tells me you need to be quiet. What does his parents opening grocery store have to do with his point? Anyways, you have no idea what people who are truly struggling are going through. Oh my gosh, guys. Does he have to know the ins and outs of every struggle? No. And who are you to tell you? Like, you don't know his struggle. He didn't tell you his whole life story. You don't know anything. Yeah, maybe their parents were able to open the store and it is still open today. Great, because his brother stepped in. But you don't know what struggles he witnessed going through that, living in a grocery store, dealing with unpredictable people, dealing with other things outside the store. You have no idea. How are you going to sit here and be like, your parents opening a store means you have the money and you just need to be quiet. You need to sit this one out. You're not broke enough to speak about this topic. It's like, huh? But if a broke person spoke about this, you'd be like, get your money up. Again, the hypocrisy, the selective outrage is freaking insane. Just telling this man he has no idea what people are really struggling with just because he's now successful. Again, he wasn't successful his whole life. He had to work towards that. He wasn't a huge journalist and a winemaker at 15 years old. we only see, it's like we have selective vision. Not just selective outrage. It seems like our community, Black people, have selective vision, and we only want to see who a person is now, and don't want to acknowledge or think about, maybe this person struggled prior to. No one is there for the journey. They're there for the results. And again, I'm not saying we have to deep dive into this guy's past and be like, oh, what did he really go through? Oh, if he didn't really struggle, discredit. If he didn't struggle, if he was grown up with a silver spoon in his mouth, it doesn't discredit truth, guys. Like that whole right message, wrong messenger. There should be no such thing as a wrong messenger unless you're a freaking hypocrite. But that's not the case. You're not a hypocrite just because you grew up with certain privileges or certain experiences, better experiences than the next person. Speaking about something we all, again, know to be facts. And again, just a stupid rhetoric. Oh my gosh. Comments on Shade Room give me anxiety. They give me a headache. But just know, guys, that this man said absolutely nothing wrong. This outrage you see in these comments are all degenerates, are all people that don't need to be glorified. No, people you would not respect if you met them in person. It's crazy. I'm smart enough to know the difference between this and pinpoint it when I see it, but some people aren't. They're not on that level yet. And I'm just here to say, don't get fazed by this. Don't be fooled by these people in these comments. Don't be pulled into this narrative that, someone who doesn't look like you can't speak about something you might have gone through or something that's happening heavily in your community. It's bull crap. It's juvenile. If you want to be seen as immature or juvenile for the rest of your life, then believe it. But if you want it to be taken seriously, if you want growth, look past this and really think about the things I said, right? And that's all I gotta say about that. All right, guys, like this video if you like this video. Comment always. I love to hear you guys' opinions. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on the next show. Bye.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es sin timidez. Como la ves no le importa dónde y cuándo. Pero nada no he hecho, no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos. Los 7 días de la semana te doy de mañana y consejos sabes que no es. Te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas que te tengo, mujer. Todo el mundo sabe que tú y yo somos